Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to remove and how to install a power steering pump on a Renault Trafic 1.9 DCI. I've removed 3 bolts in less than 10 seconds. This is out of the way. I'm going to remove this lamp panel, so in order to do this I'm going to remove both headlights. So there's a little tab here that you pull. This drops, so that's how you remove the indicator, one of them. Okay, second indicator out. Once you remove the 2 bolts from top and front, all you need to do is just gently pull the headlight out. At the back here, you're going to have 3 plugs. One for low beam, one for high beam, and one for the side lights. That's the headlight out. In order to remove the bumper, you're going to have to remove some screws on the side here. This is, I believe, T40. That's the bumper off as well. I'm going to remove the lamp panel. Obviously your bonnet is supported there, so just move this out of here. This is the intercooler pipes. The intercooler can stay on the lamp panel here, so you don't need to remove it. Just loosen the pipes. The bonnet catch, remove that. A few clips, and this just moves out of the way here. One more bolt here. This is the sensor for the bonnet closed position. And again, pull these rubber seals. This should more or less come out. Now there's one more bolt at the back here on the bracket for the bonnet sensor. And that's this panel out of the way as well. We now have full access to the power steering pump. I hope you follow my advice. If you want to obviously remove less parts, and that's up to you, but that's what I choose to do. I'm going to show you how to remove the alternator belt, or the power steering belt is the same thing. Put a 16mm socket and ratchet in place and just ratchet down. That should be sufficient in order to loosen the belt, and then just release. So that's your belt loosened. I'm going to leave it in place as it is because I don't want to mess up just the order of things here. And now we're going to proceed with the removal of this power steering pump. Now I'm going to try and bring you even closer to show you how rusty this high pressure pipe is. So I hope it doesn't break. I'm going to clean it up with a wire brush. I'm going to spray some penetrating fluid, WD-40 in my case, and see how this works. Okay, let's try and loosen this, although I'm not very optimistic here. This seems to be turning the whole thing. No, this is just not gonna work. No, I'm gonna have to damage. Oh, there's the oil leak here. This pipe is done. What I'm going to do first is just stick this bottle over into this oil can and drain as much as you can from it this way. Okay, this is going to be an absolute pig of a job now, because I'm going to have to remove the coolant radiator out of the way. This is turning into a much bigger job than I anticipated, but at least you're seeing the worst case scenario. Ratchet, or impact in this case. One bolt out. Second one's out. And we don't really care about this anymore, so that's the third one out as well. This power steering pump, just notice one of the 3 bolts is slightly longer, so this one is from here. So this pump should come out now. That was that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing the power steering hose, the high pressure power steering hose saga. So, what do I mean by that? What an absolute pig of a job. So this is turning into a complete nightmare, and also a very pricey, very expensive nightmare. So, I was quoted for a non-genuine power steering pump £110 plus VAT, which is over £130. This here pipe, I've tried every breaker, every car parts shop. Nobody in the country has this apart from the main dealer. And can you take a guess what the prices are for this piece of pipe, the rubber hose? Obviously it's a high pressure hose, so I understand it's working at say 100, 120 bar or something like that. But again, how can something like this be so expensive? It was basically between 220 and 300 pounds. So I managed to get it at 220 pounds for this piece of junk. Okay, so I'm going to try and show you exactly where this pipe goes. So this is your power steering pump. This here that broke, it's bolted into the power steering pump. Then you follow the line down, it's touched with a 13mm bolt right here. Then it goes up again. As you can see, I have plenty of clearance here. I've removed a lot of parts in order to do this in comfort and show you so I can film it properly. Then you have another bracket here on the gearbox mount going up, following this line. If you can follow my finger, then we go again and we have another bracket here. Okay, so this is held here and then it goes down. Then this 90-degree bend continues this way, and I'm gonna change the location and go underneath the van, actually underneath the front right wheel, and I'll show you where it goes, so you can access it kind of from still again underneath the van, but it's more on the side of the van. Okay, so this black hose here is the high pressure power steering line, and it goes right here. I hope I can focus on this so you can see it. There you go. So it's the bottom one of the two that you can see, the one that has like a rusted washer. So that is where it is, and that's what we need to remove. There is a bolt. It's a probably 5-6 millimeter Allen bolt. There's a little like bracket made of aluminium, and that's what holds the two in place. So that's what we need to undo, and I just need to find the right Allen key for this. Maybe a ratchet, maybe just a standard Allen key, but that's what we need to remove first. I want to show you what I used in order to gain access to remove this bolt, and this is just right there, so you can see I've removed the bolt. This was actually not too bad, although I couldn't do it with a 1/4 inch ratchet. There was just not enough leverage, so I used my adapters and I used my 1/2 inch ratchet. So I used, this is 6 millimeter Allen key, and obviously this is the adapter for the Allen key. This is a 3/8 to 1/4 inch, and then 1/2 inch to 3/8 inch. So clearly this is, yeah, there is oil coming out of the rack. I'm really surprised this hasn't corroded even more, so it was pretty straightforward to remove. So I'll stop here, and then I'm going to disconnect the other bolts, and after this we're going to remove this damn pipe from here. So we're continuing the filming of the removal of this high pressure hose. So this is basically where we loosen it from, and if we follow the pipe, the first bracket we have is this one here. So this is a 16 millimeter socket. Hopefully I can get it on here. Yeah, it is on, and it is well oiled from the oil leaks from this engine. Yeah, that's okay. Now to remove by hand. So 1/6 millimeter Allen bolt. This is 16 millimeter, or Torx, probably about 40 or 45 Torx. Okay, next bracket is right here. So this was not too bad at all. I had it actually loosened with a ratchet first, and then I thought it's just going to be much easier, obviously, to remove it with the impact gun. And one more just right here. And of course this bracket is going to be in the way, so I'm gonna have to loosen somehow this here as well. This is the return line. I don't want to damage it, so let's see what the best way to do it is. So I'm just going to loosen it and lift it up, and then this will give me the opportunity to remove this bolt. Okay, this is the bolt out. What do we have here? One more, two more. No, just one more. another 13 millimeter, which hopefully we can get with the gun. What's that? So 4 bolts so far, and 1 Allen bolt, which is right here. So that's all the bolts from this high pressure power steering line. And now this is the moment that we've been waiting for. Just be careful not to damage any cables or anything else. So, okay, this power steering hose is out. What an absolute pig of a job. We're continuing the power steering pump high pressure hose saga. So just to let you know where we are at the moment. So I've got the pump and I've got the genuine Renault power steering high pressure hose. This bad boy, as I said, cost £220, and this was me trying to negotiate and bring the price down as low as I could. I got a slightly better deal on this pump as well. The original price was £135, so I got it for £120, and I am aware you can get it cheaper. I just couldn't wait because I need to put this vehicle back on the road, so I had to go to my local shop. So I dropped the price from, originally it was 120 plus VAT, then 110 plus VAT, and eventually I got it for 100 plus VAT. So I paid £120 cash for this and £220 for this. So you're talking £340 sitting on this bench here in front of you. For what? For a piece of pipe and a power steering pump. I mean, what's involved in the machining of this part, I don't know. I'm not a manufacturer, but I certainly don't think this pipe here is worth that money. Anyway, let's get to the point where we're going to start putting everything together, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install the pump, and then I'm going to install the pipe. This insert here needs to move. I tried to kind of hit it a little bit with a small hammer, but I don't want to hit too hard because this is aluminium, so I don't want to end up breaking it. I tried to move this insert to the right, looking in front of the engine, so it's not happening. I hit it, but I don't want to hit it too hard because I don't want to break it. So I'm going to try another way. This, I was very lucky. I have a table saw which is absolutely in bits. I have taken it apart, so I was planning to put it together, but lucky enough I haven't done it yet. So I found this insert which fits absolutely perfectly here. So we need obviously this to be nice and firm in place, and it doesn't move. Now what I'm going to do is I need some sort of strong washer with an 8mm hole, but I don't have. I actually have one really strong washer, but it's M6 internal hole, so I don't want to drill it. If I need to, I will drill it. But what I wanted to do here is I'm going to screw this in. I'm going to use my impact gun. I'm going to try and tighten this bolt. So hopefully this will pull it out this way. So let's see what happens. Don't want to cause. Yeah. This is moving. So just have a look and see how it's pulling it this way. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna see if it's in the right position, because I don't want it to be too loose at the same time as well. This is literally perfect. I stopped just on time. I'm not gonna go super tight here. I'm just gonna tighten it gently in place. I'm gonna install the belt. It's time to try and install the belt in place. So put your ratchet on this here. You can see it clearly. 16mm socket. Everything is lined up nicely. I'm going to fill up the power steering tank with fluid, and this is the type of fluid that I will be using. This is Febby Bilstein and it's 46161. I normally use this fluid on BMW, but this is perfectly fine for any power steering system. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm filling up the tank. I have disconnected the return line. And I'm going to show you what I'm planning to do now. I want to completely flush the whole system. So in order to do that, I'm going to obviously have to get rid of some oil which is in the power steering rack and in the return lines, because obviously I haven't disconnected the return lines. So I'm going to show you in a minute what I've done. I've just connected the return line into a bottle. Clear bottle, so you can see the color of the liquid that I'm draining. So whenever the color turns green, then I'm going to stop obviously wasting the oil. So now I'm going to, I've lifted the vehicle up in the air and I'm going to turn the steering wheel from full left to full right lock in order to just push oil through the system and bleed the system. Okay, so watch this. This is very, very important. So turn the ignition on in position 1 so you can unlock your steering wheel, and just keep doing that from left to right. And you can see this fluid is starting to flow now through my pipe, through the return pipe, and watch all the red oil drain from the system. Just keep doing that. I can see a bit of green color. So I'm going to top up a bit more fresh oil. I filled up the bottle even above the maximum. I'm going to keep pumping. I can see now green fluid coming out. This means we've got rid of all the red ATF. I'm going to stop at this point I'm gonna fill up the tank to maximum, and then I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna put the vehicle down on the ground. I'm gonna start the engine, see how everything goes. Obviously, I will connect my return line into the tank, and we'll see what happens next. See if we fix the steering issue. Whenever you're replacing the power steering fluid in your power steering system, make sure you remove this filter from the power steering tank, and clean it up. This is quite a fine filter here, so use some brake cleaner and compressed air. You can see on the inside. I've actually cleaned this a little bit and decided to put it onto the video because it's quite an important step. So clean this up as best as you can and then insert it back into the bottle. This is the way it goes in. This is on the top and this is on the bottom.